Barber again. We're here in front of the Rally for Liberty. We're going to do another interview. Sir, who are you and where are you from?
My name is John Carlos Cruz. I'm a precinct delegate from the city of Mount Clemens, Michigan.
So, I take it you're part of the Ron Paul campaign here. How long have you known about Dr. Paul, and what led you to find out about Dr. Paul?
Well, I was originally brought into the whole liberty movement by Harry Brown, who was the Libertarian presidential candidate in 2000, I believe 96 as well. And it was just something where I was watching TV and happened to come across his acceptance speech on C-SPAN, listened to a few seconds, and I said, wait a minute, this guy actually knows what he's talking about. So through Harry Brown, I got involved in the Libertarian Party, learned about Ron Paul when he ran in '88 and all that other stuff that goes along with it. And I've been a proud Libertarian Party member since 2001 and a member of the Republican Party since earlier this year.
Well, you know, the tent of liberty is such a big tent, and all of us have, for me, my particular issue is the Federal Reserve and sound money system. Is there one particular issue for you that gives you the strength to keep going despite our treatment by mainstream media?
Well, there's two issues with that for me. The first one, first and most, is constitutional principles. Because everything else has to come down to that. Because if you start ignoring that stuff, then none of the rest of it really matters. And second is a little bit more special interest, I guess you could call it. That's because I work in web development, I work on computers, and I cannot and will not support any ticket that wants any kind of internet regulation. So there's some things that me and Barack Obama see eye to eye on. There's some things that me and John McCain see eye to eye on. I'm not going to be totally unrealistic and say I hate them for whatever reason. But Obama's got a VP that wants to regulate the internet and throw all these people in jail and all these international spying programs for your email and monitoring it. He wants to outlaw encryption. It's crazy. John McCain wants to monitor internet traffic and read emails for the sake of protecting children. That's what he told me in person. I was at a rally of his just to hear what he had to say. So that's something that I cannot, will never do.
Well, have you made many new friends since you started this new path of knowledge and this new path of way of life?
I can't tell you how many new friends I've made. I was part of the Operation Live Free or Die, the campaign for Ron Paul in New Hampshire this year for the primaries. And there were 3 houses in New London, New Hampshire that we all lived in. And ever since then, I've gone to rallies in D.C. for tax day. And again, there was a big one in July. And we see each other all again. It's like a big family reunion now when we come back together. It's beautiful.
Well, sir, as a web developer and kind of an internet guru there, in your opinion, is it true that there are only 12 Ron Paul supporters sitting in their basement with their mom's laptop that caused the internet phenomenon?
You know what? If you're still asking that question, go ahead, take the camera and pan it around here and take a look at all these people.
Let's take this man's advice and do that. I'm counting a little more than 12, and I'm not real good at math, but I see more than 12. And this is only a fraction of what's here today.
This is only the iceberg, and these are only the people that can make it out to Minnesota for this. I can't tell you how many people I know, just grassroots organizers, grassroots volunteers, other people that were state convention delegates in Michigan, where we proudly were able to vote down that Newt Gingrich American Solutions platform garbage thanks to our efforts. And they couldn't make it out. If we had everybody here that truly believed it, we need a city bigger than Minnesota, bigger than St. Paul and Minneapolis. We need a big state bigger than Minnesota.
Sir, I have to say I would agree with that statement. Yes, I would. My line was kind of a setup, and you handled it very well. You said you've made a lot of new friends. Have you lost any of your old friends as you tried to explain to them about the things you've been learning this year?
You know what? I've been fortunate enough to the point where I haven't, and there's a lot of people, you know, Michigan's a very liberal state. I live in a very liberal county. I'm from Sander Levin's district, one of the most liberal representatives that we have in Congress. So I've been able to talk to a lot of people and say, this is how I feel on the issues, and because we don't scream at each other back and forth, we can sit down and say, this is what I like about my people, this is what you like about your people. These are our common ground, and we move people over bit by bit. Something that you understand, or that most people don't understand about making a persuasive argument, is you got one person who's way over here, one person who's way over here. You start preaching this side of your argument, you're not going to win anybody. You got to find the common areas where you say, okay, we both agree here, and then you can slowly turn them and say, well, they agree on one thing, maybe they could be right about something else too, and then slowly, incrementally, bit by bit, you move them over and get them out of your side. And that's the part that I'm working on right now. So I say, okay, you want to vote for Obama this time around, and you have whatever reason for doing so, that's fine. This is why I'm not voting for him, and over time we're going to turn a lot of these people around just from sit-down conversation, making good arguments, and being able to sit down at the table and not jump down each other's throats and have an actual discussion and real debate about politics without, you know, having to jump down anybody's throat, without yelling at anybody, without name-calling. And we can really get a lot done if we just stick to that and try to accomplish it.
Well, that's very good. Would you say that Would you say that most of the people that you've counted in the Ron Paul campaign are intelligent? And have you learned anything new about being involved in this movement that you didn't know before?
If we want to talk about new things that I've learned, I wouldn't even know where to begin. Yeah, you have no idea. I mean, there's so much stuff to learn. There's so many things. I mean, I'll give you an example. I told you before I was in New Hampshire campaigning, and we got to go to the Liberty Forum to see Dr. Paul speak. And one of the speakers at the Liberty Forum was this guy, John McManus from the John Birch Society, which I had never heard of before. And I listened to the speech, and I was like, wow, this is something else. And that's how I got turned on to the John Birch Society. He was actually today's guest speaker that nobody knew about. And there's just been a whole other slew of ideas that have come through from being part of this, and it's been fantastic the amount of stuff I've learned from all these other people. And they're all on the ball. We had all these guys that went into our state convention last month to see who was going to be the Electoral College and all that other stuff. And we had our supporters talking to local candidates, and these guys just had this stunned look on their faces because they didn't know that anyone was going to be talking to them about things that actually mattered. People that actually did the research on a lot of these things, people that know who's on what committee in Congress, who's on what kind of commission, who's in charge of passing this through, and who authors what legislation. These are the smartest group of people I've ever come in contact with in my entire life. They are sharp, they are on the ball, they know what they're talking about, and I am proud and humbled beyond words to say that I'm part of this group.
So let's say someone watching this video says, wow, I really like what this man has to say, but I'm new to this concept of liberty and constitutional principles. Is there a website or a book or anything you'd like to recommend to start now that doesn't have all the knowledge that you do?
Well, the first thing that I would recommend you do is the same thing that I did. I learned about the Libertarian Party and started finding things through them. You go to their site, lp.org, and you check things out through there. You're going to find forums, links, there's all sorts of other little independent organizations. Then you start to find the other ones. You find the John Birch Society, you find the Constitution Party, you find Liberty Parties, you find the Cato Institute, who hands out numerous constitutions every year. You find out all these other grassroots organizations, you learn more, you start to read more, you find all the things like Ron Paul forums, other liberty like-minded websites, and all of a sudden you just ask somebody, hey, I'm new to this movement, where can I go? And you will get an unbelievable amount of response back from people saying, go here, go here, go here, read this, here's this book, go read, Ron Paul's book, go read Jesse Ventura's book, Don't Start the Revolution Without Me, go read the book, The Creature from Jekyll Island, go read Ayn Rand, go pick up Atlas Shrugged, the most important book you could ever read in your life. You start there, you start to get it, things start to click, and you start to say, oh my God, I've been lied to my entire life. The media, the government, the schools, the teachers, the parents, they've all been sucked into this vacuum. It's this cone of ignorance where you can break out of it. All you have to do is learn how to open up a book and learn how to think for yourself. If you think for yourself and you read all this stuff and you agree that this is good, awesome, come join us. If you decide that maybe this isn't the way we want to go, I have some different ideas that I'd like to present to the movement, bring them on. We are the most open-minded group of people you can imagine, and we will gladly accept any ideas you have. Or if you decide that this isn't working for us and you decide you'd rather go take the Marxist approach, God bless you, whatever works. As long as you think about it and you're smart about it and you realize this is really what I want to do because this is what I believe in as a person. And my core being, this is what I believe is true. This isn't something that somebody else has shoved down my throat. As long as you can do that, you have more integrity than 99 of the people on this planet.
Well, sir, that was brilliant. One final question for you. For any of the ladies who are watching this on YouTube that say, my God, this guy's better looking than he is smart, do you have a MySpace, Facebook, YouTube page where people could come out and find out more about you?
You can check me out. I do have a blog that talks about politics and technology. It's called Conveniently Misplaced. You can get that at cruiseweb.net, and it links to my MySpace and Facebook and all that other stuff.
Well, sir, I want to thank you for your time today. That was a fantastic interview. Thank you.
Thank you.